One of the unfortunate things about online is that we know we're wasting a very, very large part of our traffic. I think it's fair to say that most landing pages, even the very best ones, rarely go above 10% conversion. That's quite out there in terms of statistics. Now, obviously, once they're inside your database and you get used to them, yes, you can get 40, 50, 60% conversion. But at that initial stage, you're really wasting most of the traffic that's there. But what we've seen in the last, I guess, couple of years is the advent of new technology that allows us to kind of get a second bite of the cherry.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So I'm sure, have you been what we call internet stalked? And
oh yes.
Yeah, and we're not talking about that strange person on Facebook who takes a liking to you that you accidentally friended. We're talking about you go to a site and then after you leave that site, their advertising appears
everywhere.
Yeah.
On YouTube, on Facebook, yes, they're all over the joint.
Exactly. So it's a thing that people call retargeting or remarketing. And all it is it's a little piece of code that when a visitor goes to your website, you get to drop that little piece of code into their browser history. So now, wherever they go on the internet now, you have the ability to serve them advertising. You can't actually tell where they've gone and what they've done. It's not as stalkily scary as that. It's just the ability to serve somebody advertising. But it can be very, very powerful because, like you said, like if a website's sitting at, say, 4% conversion rate, that means that 94 people have left that site without you getting anything. And they may come back. A few of them may come back. But, I mean, if you had a bricks and mortar, like if you had a real store and 94 people for every 100 was coming to the store and leaving without buying anything,
you go broke.
You would go broke. So you kind of, that's 94% of your effort wasted. The great thing about the internet is you can still make that a viable, profitable thing.
Okay.
But wouldn't even be better if we could make it much more profitable. So by having the opportunity to re-advertise yourself to these people, you can get them to come back and they can maybe continue their purchase. The stats are someone that's retargeted via Facebook, so they get that advertising pops up on Facebook, are 270% more likely to come back to your site. Once they get to your site, they're 70% more likely to purchase from you. It's huge. Quite a lot. It's a huge. And the funny thing about it is, at the moment, it's actually the cheapest form of advertising. Because you've spent that time and effort, maybe it is in advertising, or maybe it's just in effort on social media, to get them there. But what you're doing is you're only advertising to those people that have gone to your site. You're not advertising to thousands and thousands of people, unless you've got thousands and thousands of people coming to your site. So you get to control the budget. And then depending on how you do the ads, there's a thing called cost per click. And a lot of the ads you can do are this thing called cost per click. And what that means is you only pay for it when someone clicks on your ad.
When it works.
Exactly. But now we get to talk about the intangibles, because there's all of those people that didn't click on your ad but saw your branding and saw your marketing message. So you're advertising to them for free, basically, until they click on your ad. So you get that benefit. And then there's all sorts of strategies we can do, and we won't go into them too much now, but for instance, I'll give you one of them. Let's say you know that so many people got to the checkout page, and then you also know that so many people got to the thank you page. Now, if you take those two audiences and you minus the audience from the thank you page to the checkout page, what you've got left are everyone that didn't buy from you and left without buying. So you can remarket to them specifically because you know that they put their hand up far enough to get to the checkout page. And maybe what you do is you don't lower your price so much, but you offer a 10% discount, or you add a bonus, or you do a special deal, just to entice them to come back, and you can do that quite cheaply.
You just put a different credit card because the first one bounced.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's amazing how powerful that can be. It gives you, like you said, a second bite of the cherry. Yeah.